Hi Year 3, welcome to your maths video for Thursday the 28th of January. So it's a video for you if you've got the Year 3 maths booklet. So today we're going to be completing page 14 of our maths booklets, which has got exercise 14 at the top. But before we do that, we're going to warm ourselves up ready for our learning today, and we're going to have a look at our learning question to see what we're going to be doing. So, your challenge this morning, to warm ourselves up, I've got a problem for you, okay? So Lola has bought a balloon at the circus, just one balloon. She gave the clown 6 coins to pay for it. What could Lola have paid for the balloon, okay? So, in a minute, you're going to pause the video and you're going to come up with lots of different coin combinations of what Lola could have paid the clown for her balloon. Now remember, she only used 6 coins to pay for it, okay? So I've got some coins here. So we know in British money, we have the 1p coin, the 2p, the 5p, the 10p. We have the 20 pence coin, the 50 pence, we've got the £1 coin and the £2 coin, okay? So you can come up with 5 different coin combinations for what Lola paid the clown, okay, for her one balloon. Remember, you can only use 6 coins. Now, when you have a look at your answers, which of your answers seems the reasonable amount to pay for the balloon, okay? So I think about a balloon. If you've used 6 1p coins, that would be 6p. Would you be able to buy a balloon for 6p? Okay, so I had a little go earlier. So I've drawn on my whiteboard 2 50p's and 4 20p's. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coins. And I know that 2 50p's is £1, and I've got 20, 40, 60, 80, £1.80, okay? So that's one of my coin combinations that I've came up with, okay? So have a go at coming up with 5 different coin combinations for the coins that Lola paid for her balloon, and make sure you take a picture and send it in to us, because we'd love to see what you are doing, okay? So I want to pause the video now and have a go at our warm-up challenge. Okay. Moving on then to today's learning. We're just going to have a little recap of yesterday's learning. Now, I was really impressed with the work we had sent in yesterday. Lots of you have done really well at my All-Star Challenge of 3 times 4 times 10, okay? Where we're multiplying 3 one-digit numbers, okay? So let's have a little recap, because you've got some similar questions again to these today. So remember, I told you to break the calculation down. So first of all, I'm going to do 3 times 4. I'm going to cover the times 10 over. So 3 times 4 we know is 12. And then I'm going to multiply that by 10. So we multiply the answer by the last number in that calculation. Now 12 times 10, we're counting our tens. Oh, what's 12 times 10? Have a think. If you said 120, well done, okay? Now you've also got another similar question to this today, which we had yesterday as well, where we've just got the multiplying 3 one-digit numbers in a word problem. So I've got 2 times 3 times 4. So it's just asking me to do 2 times 3 times 4, okay? So breaking it down, I know that 2 times 3 is, well done if you said 6. And then I'm going to multiply my answer by 4. So I'm going to count in my 4s. I'm going to count 6 4s. Are you getting ready to count in your 4 times table with me? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 20. Oh, do I need 28? Oh, I got you then nearly. So it's 24. That's 6 times 4. Okay. So let's have a look at our learning question then for today. So today you're going to be showing your understanding of a range of mathematical vocabulary, okay? Now that's quite a big learning question, but we know that vocabulary just means words, okay? So what we're going to be doing today is showing our understanding and using these mathematical words to help us solve our problems in our intergear and tough challenge section. So let's have a quick recap of some of these words. So I've got my 4 operations here, my addition, subtraction, and I've got my multiplication and my division, okay? And we've got lots of mathematical words, mathematical vocabulary that is linked to each of these operations, okay? So quick recap, with addition, we know when we add numbers, the answer is going to get bigger. So we're increasing it, we're finding the total of 2 numbers when we add, we're finding the sum of 2 numbers when we add, and when we add, we're putting everything all together, okay? Now the opposite to addition, the inverse operation, is subtraction. Because we know when we subtract, the number is going to get smaller, okay? So it's decreasing, we're taking away. We've got fewer left over, and we're finding the difference when we subtract. We could be finding the difference between 2 numbers. That means we need to subtract the numbers we are given, okay? Now moving on to multiplication and division, we know these 2 operations are the inverse of each other. Because when we multiply, we're doing lots of and groups of. It's repeated addition, which we've done a lot of recently, okay? If we're finding the product of 2 numbers, that means we need to multiply them. Now, repeated addition and multiplication, we know that the opposite to that is division, okay? That's the inverse operation, because when we divide, this is a slightly trickier one with division, we are sharing, we're sharing into equal groups, and we can use our times tables to help us do that. And we know when we divide, it's repeated subtraction, okay, which is the opposite to repeated addition for multiplication, okay? So let's have a look at some questions on your integer section and use these mathematical words and vocabulary to help us solve these problems. So you've got a very similar question to this one today in your integer section, okay? So let's have a little look. Decrease 16 by 4, then 7, okay? Now I've spotted a word in there that's going to tell me which operation we're going to be using. Have you spotted that mathematical word? Oh, if you said decrease, well done, okay? And we know when we're decreasing, it's going to get smaller, so that means we're subtracting, okay? Now the question has asked us to decrease 16 by 4, so that means we're going to subtract 4 from 16. So I'm going to do 16, take away 4. Okay, so it's this 2-step question again where we can do it in 2 parts to break it up and make it a bit easier. So I'm decreasing 16 by 4, that's 16 subtract 4. Well, we can have a look at our ones and we know that's 12 because 6 ones take away 4 ones is 2 ones and our 10 is still there, okay? So I've decreased 16 by 4, but the second part says then 7, okay? So from my answer, 12, I need to subtract 7. I'm decreasing it again, okay? So some of you will just know that one straight away, but remember, if you're a little stuck on working the questions out, remember we can count backwards or forwards if we're adding, okay? But we're subtracting, so we're going to count backwards. So we can pop 12 in our heads, 12, and we're going to take away 7. So that's 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, okay? Right, so I've got another question here. It says find the total of 6, 5 and 10. Oh, who has spotted the word in this question that tells me what I'm going to be doing with 6, 5 and 10? Oh, if you said total, another big well done, year 3. Now, before I pull my board up, which operation would we do to find the total of those numbers? The total, there's a clue. We're finding the total. We're going to be adding the numbers together. It's addition, okay? So to find the total of these numbers, I need to add them up. Okay, so I've got 6, add 5, add 10, okay? Well, from looking at that, I can use my knowledge of numbers and I know that 6 add 5 is 11. And then if I add 10 to 11, that's 21, okay? So remember to be using your knowledge of mathematical vocabulary today to help you decide which operation you're doing. So now we're going to move on to our tough challenge, okay, where we've got a range of questions for you to have a go at. And we've been really good at our tough challenge recently, year 3, so keep up the good work. I've seen lots of you underlining key parts of your word problems and the numbers, and I've seen lots of fabulous working out to keep track of your calculations, okay. I know Daisy, you were fantastic at that, so keep up the good work. So you've got a similar question to this one. It's a fraction question in your tough challenge. Polly has 30 sweets. 10 of them are red. What fraction of sweets are red? So I'm going to get my ruler out, okay? So we know that Polly has started with 30 sweets. So altogether she's got 30, okay? But only 10 of them are red. So what fraction of sweets are red? Now we know a fraction is part of a whole, okay? So the whole thing that Polly has got, she's got 30 sweets altogether. So if I'm going to write this as a fraction, my denominator, she's got 30 sweets altogether, okay? But only 10 of them are red. So if I wrote that as a fraction, okay, I've got 10 out of 30 because 10 out of her 30 sweets are red, okay? Now, we can write that as a fraction, that makes sense, that's fine, but some of you might want to go one step further and simplify your fraction that you get, okay? Now, when we simplify our fraction, we've got to treat the numerator, my number at the top, so those 10 sweets, I've got to treat it the same as my denominator at the bottom. So I'm looking at those two numbers, I know I can divide 10 by 10, and I can also divide 30 by 10, so I've got to treat them the same. So if I divide 10 by 10, I'm going to get 1, there's one lot of 10 in 10. And how many 10s go into 30? 10, 20, 30, that's 3. So you can, if you want to have a go, simplify your fractions, and we'll be very impressed if you can do that, year 3. But we're just looking for the main fraction first, okay? So remember, she's got 10 out of 30 that are red. Right, moving on then to the last couple of questions on your tough challenge section. Double 80 sheep. Now we know when we double a number, we're just going to add it to itself. So the question's just asking you to do 80, add 80, okay? Now some of you might have a go at putting this in column method, but I know if I cover over those zeros, I know 8 add 8 is 16, okay? So 10 times 8, 10 times bigger than that is 80, okay? 80 is 10 times bigger than 8. So I know that the answer is 160. But remember, if you're struggling, if your number's quite big that you've got to double, just pop it in column method. 80, add 80, okay? Make sure you get your ruler out and you're laying out your numbers. Lovely, with fantastic number formation and presentation. So remember, 0 add 0, we start at the ones, is 0. Then I've got 8 add 8, which we know is 16. So I'm going to leave my 6 and 10s and carry the 100. Oh, I've got no hundreds to add. So like I said, the answer was 160. Now, last question on that section is about time, okay? So if you're struggling with your time, remember a nice top tip for you. At the front of your books, you've got a page that's got useful information on, okay? And it's got lots of measurement things on there to help you, including the time, okay? So if you're really struggling, have a little look at this. So I can't wait to see the fabulous work that you do today, year 3. Make sure you're using your knowledge of our mathematical vocabulary to help you solve your problems, okay? So you might want to pause the board now and keep that on to help you, or we'll put this one up because it's a little bit smaller, to help you with some of your questions today, knowing if you're adding, subtracting, multiplying or dividing. Good luck!